So this session we're going to learn about the if function in Excel, and to give you an example of the if function, I have this table prepared up over here which represents the different identification entities of an employee in an organization. So in column H I have the salary of the individual, and in column N I'm simply interested in knowing what would be the bonus of the individual dependent on its salary. Now, but I have a condition while calculating up the bonus for an individual. If his salary is more than 10,000 rupees monthly, then he is only going to get 5% of his salary as the bonus. But if he has any salary which is less than 10,000, then he's going to get 10% of his salary as his bonus. Now, what did the way of doing this, the way of achieving the functionality in which we're able to decide which of the two values are going to come for a particular salary value, we need to look into the functionality of the if function. Now I'll always begin by typing in the equal to value before the if before typing the if function, then go on to put in the open bracket button over here, and then I have three arguments presented to me, which asks for the first one being the logical test, the second one being the value if true, and the third one being value if false. Now the logical test argument asks me to create up a logical test for this argument, which either turns out to be just true or just false. So if I were to create up a test, say if the salary of the individual is more than 10,000, so you know that it is always going to be either true or false, depending upon the value of the salary of the individual. So in that case, I can have a test return to me either true or false value, and basis it turns out to be true or false, I can have the condition, the if function, giving me the value if true value or the value if false value. So while using the if function on the salary of Raja, I would say, so if this value is greater than 10,000, then I want you to, if this condition turns out to be true, that is if this value is greater than 10,000, then I want you to give me the bonus as 5% of his salary. And if this value is false, and that if H3 is not greater than 10,000, then I want you to give me 10% of his salary as the bonus. So putting on the closing bracket button over here and pressing the enter button would give me the value of 625. Now you can see that since the value of salary was greater than 10,000, hence the individual Raja has received his bonus as his 5% of the salary and not 10% of the salary. But if you simply were to copy and paste this formula into the next cell, say in the cell N4 over here, you can see that it gives me a bonus value of 400, which is in fact 10% of the salary attained by Kuldeep Sharma, in fact. Now we can go ahead and copy on these things even more further, and they would be giving us values of 5% or 10% depending on the salary values. So again, recapping what we have learned in this session, the if function will always consist of three arguments. The first one being the logical test that needs to be framed and whose value needs to come out to be either true or false. So basis what turns out to be true and what turns out to be false, you will have the if function returning you values of either which are true and either and when it is false. So this is all about the if function in Microsoft Excel. Thank you for watching.